Hi beautiful people, you're welcome to yet another tutorial video. My name is Chinyere Chichi for short. If you're new here, you are most welcome. And for my returning subscribers, you are the absolute best. Thanks for always coming back. And in today's video guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this pleated loose elastic band romper shorts. Please do not forget to click on the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and also put up your post notification bell to get notified whenever I put up a new video. I will be drafting this short on a pattern paper before I transfer to the fabric itself. And the first thing to do is to get the length of the short. So the length I'm going to be using on the pattern itself, I'm going to be using 16 inches, okay? I'm going to be using a length of 16 inches. That is the 17 inches minus 1 inch. Plus the hemming allowance of 2 inches, okay? So that is what I'm going to be marking, making a total of 18 inches. So the length I'm going to be marking on this pattern paper is 18 inches, as you can see. So I've marked out the 18 inches length, and this is it. And the next thing is to get all the vertical measurements, and the vertical measurements include the hip line, which you can see. So this is the hip line I'm marking on both ends. This is the hip line. Then we have the crotch, okay? Remember, this is a loose pant. Remember, it's a loose pant. So for the crotch, the actual crotch for this measurement is supposed to be 9 to 10 inches. But because it's a loose pant, I'm going to be adding an extra half or 1 to the crotch length, okay? So I'm going to be using 10.5 for the crotch length, and this is the crotch length I'm marking all the way. The next thing is to get the actual short length, that's the romper short length, which I said initially was 16 inches. So this is the 16 inches. And then the other allowance down is for the seam allowance, that's the hemming allowance. So here are the mark, the waist, the hip line, the crotch length, and the short length. So here are they. And next, I'm going to be marking 1 inch from the edge of the pattern paper like this. This is to allow the freeness at the lower part of the short pants, okay? So I'm going to be marking 1 inch from the edge of the pattern all the way down this way. Like I said, this is to give the freeness for the wideness of the leg of the pants. So this is the 1 inch. So every measurement I'm going to be taking, like the crotch measurement, is going to start from that 1 inch mark. And for the crotch, like I said initially in my previous videos, the crotch is the hip divided by 4. Whatever you get, you further divide it by 4. So for instance, this hip is 40 inches or 41 inches. You divide it by 4. Whatever it gives you, let's say it gives us 10, you further divide it by 4. Which is 2.5. So that is how to get your crotch. And this is the crotch I'm marking all the way from the crotch to the waist area. So this is our crotch area, and I'm going to be curving out the crotch just like so. So this is the crotch we have here now. Next, we are going to be marking out the hip measurement, that's the horizontal measurement, and one of them is the hip. So it's going to be the hip divided by 4 plus seam allowance, okay? So the hip here divided by 4, which is this, plus seam allowance, and this is it. I used 1 inch for the seam allowance, so that is for the hip area. And next, for the waist, because this short has has pleats, which we have 3 pleats for the shorts, I am going to mark exactly what I have on the hip on the waist, okay? I'm going to be doing that so that the excess can accommodate the 3 pleats. Remember, we have 3 pleats on the waist part of this short. We have 3 pleats so that it can accommodate the 3 pleats and then the seam allowance. That is why I use the same thing for the hip on the waist. So coming down to the crotch area of the pant, I'm going to be marking exactly what I have on the waist and the hip right on the crotch area. So you can see we have almost a uniform from the waist to the crotch. Then coming down to the leg of the short, I'm going to be marking it outward this way. It's not going to be straight down. So I'm going to be marking the point all the way from the crotch to the marked hip measurement, okay? You can see we have 14 inches. So we are going to be getting the middle of the 14 inches, which is 7 inches. And then we come down to the leg part area and mark that 7 inches, which is the midpoint. And remember, the leg of this short is a little bit wider, so I'm going to be extending it by half an inch, okay? So making it 7.5 inches from the center point, okay? So I'm going to be marking 7.5 and then 7.5 also, making it a total of 15 inches for the leg of the short. So I'm going to be joining the points like this. I mark it all the way. Please make sure that the length between the length of the short and the hemming allowance of 2 inches, please make sure it is just straight down. Do not widen it at that point. Make sure it is just straight down, okay, before you continue your joining. So at this point I'm going to be joining the upper part, which is the waist, to the hip area, and this is it. So this is what the front part of our romper short looks like. So I'm going to be cutting out along all the marked out area, and then we proceed to the cutting of the back. Please guys, if you haven't subscribed at this point, please endeavor to click on that subscribe button, put up your post notification bell. Please give this video a huge thumbs up and let me know your thoughts about the whole tutorial in the comment section. And now guys, I placed the front pattern on another pattern paper in order to cut out the back, and I'm holding it down with the help of a pin, just to stabilize the whole thing. So I'm going to be extending the crotch area by Remember, I'm not going to be making it straight. It's a bit slant, okay? So it's a bit slant like this. Endeavor to always make sure that your crotch area is slanted. Don't cut it straight. And then the extension is going to be by 3.5 inches. That's for the back. I'm extending the crotch area by 3.5 inches. And then at the waist part of the crotch, I'm going to be extending it by 1 inch, okay? So I'm going to be marking 1 inch all the way from the waist point then to somewhere here. That is somewhere around the hip area, okay? So I'm going to be marking 1 inch and stop around the hip area, and then I join my crotch area this way. That's the back crotch. I'm going to be joining it with a curve just like this. So this is the crotch being joined together. And next, I'll be extending the center back, that's the center waist part. I'll be extending it by 1 inch, just like this. I extend it by 1 inch, and then I join it to the side waist, just like this. I join it to form a slant from the center to the side waist. And at the leg of the short, I'm going to be extending it by 1.5 inch. I'm marking 1.5 inch from this point to this point. I join it to the crotch with a curve just like this, and that is the back. The back is ready. That is all for the back. And next is to cut out along the marked out area, and here is the cutting being done. And guys, the front and the back pattern for our romper short, it is ready. Guys, it is ready, and this is what it looks like. And at this point, our pattern is ready to be used for the main fabric. Once again guys, please encourage this channel by clicking on the subscribe button. Thank you guys. And remember that this romper short has 3 pleats at the front area. So this is how you form your pleat, even though I'm going to be explaining that with the fabric properly, but this is what's like just a rough view of what the pleat should look like on the front part of the short. Now that we have the front and the back part of the romper short ready, the next is to cut out the band. So the band I'm going to be adding extra 3 inches to the band of the short. I'm going to be adding an extra 3 inches to the band, and the band is going to be having a width of 1.25. This is because I do not want the space between the 1 inch elastic I'm going to be using and the band itself. I don't want too much space between them so that it looks very neat. So I'm going to be adding 3 inches to the length of the waist, just like I said. So this is the band being cut out, and this is the band. This is what it looks like. Then I fold it, I place it on fold just like this. So this is what the band should look like before I place it on the short itself. And next, it has a pocket as well. So this is me cutting out the pocket. I'm just straightening the pattern paper this way. I'm using the width of 7 inches for the pattern paper, so I'm going to be cutting out 7 inches by 10.5 inches. So I place the front of the romper short on it this way, just to get the shape of the waist to the hip area for the pocket area. And by the time I am done shaping it out, the next thing is just to notch at the 7 inches mark. Okay, this is where I'm going to be notching the pocket. That's the opening, where the opening of the pocket is going to terminate. So this is it. And the next thing, I will be cutting out the pocket proper this way, and then I shape the lower part of the pocket just like this. I'm going to be shaping the hip area of the pocket. So this is the pocket ready. The pattern of our pocket is ready. So the front, the back, the pocket, and here comes the band. So our patterns are 100% ready. So next, let's transfer to the fabric itself. So this is the fabric placed on fold just like this, and then I place my pattern on it and then pin it down and proceed to the cutting proper. So this is the cutting being done. So you cut along just exactly what you've cut on your pattern paper. So this is for the front, and next I'll be doing the same thing to the back and every other part of the pattern, of the fabric. So this is me cutting out the back pattern. I do the same thing to the pocket, to the band, and next I proceed to my stitching machine and then put everything together. And this is our fabric cutout: the front, the back, the pocket, and then the band. And next I will start with the stitching. I'll be starting with the front. This is the front part of the romper short, and I'll be placing the right side to the right side, and I'll be stitching along the crotch area just like this. So this is the crotch area. This is the first thing to do. I'll be stitching along the crotch area. I'll be right back, guys. And here is the front area after I'm done stitching the crotch area. So this is what it looks like. This is what the front should be giving you by the time you're done stitching. And then I place it back on fold, and I'm going to be marking 3 inches from the center fold, so from the center part of the short. So this is 3 inches, and then I notch. This is just to show me where my pleats should begin. So this is the 3 inches mark from the center of the short, and then I mark out the length of the pleat. That is where how long I want the pleat to be. And for this pleat, I'm going to be using about 5 inches. So I mark out the length of the pleat, and then I proceed to the other side. I do the same. That's the 2 sides of the front of the short knicker. And then this is the length of the pleat where I want the pleat to terminate. And then I commence the folding of the pleat. So you fold your pleat using 1/2 inch for each pleat. Okay, I'm going to be using 1/2 inch, fold it this way, place it down, then use your pressing iron to hold it down. So I'm going to be doing this, iron it out, do the same to the second pleat, iron it out, do the same to the third pleat, iron it down. So watch how I do the pleating, how I form the pleating and then iron it out. So this is the second pleat, and then I proceed to the third pleat. I do the same. Please make sure that the spacing between each pleat is the same. Make sure they are uniform. Okay, so this is one side of the pleat ready, and I proceed to the second part, and I do exactly what I've done to this other part, forming 3 pleats on each side. So these are the pleats on both sides ready, and then I'll be stitching along just like this. I'll be stitching at the edge of each pleat, and for the third one I'll stitch this way, stitch the other one, the third one I stitch, and then terminate it just like this. So this is how the pleat is going to be stitched. And guys, the pleat is ready, as you can see how I stitched the 3 pleats. Okay, so this is what the pleat looks like after I am done stitching. So the next thing, I'll get the pocket. And remember, I have a pair for each side of the pocket. Okay, so I have a pair which is 1, 2, and I take one of it, I place it on the body of the short this way. I take the other one, I place it on this way, and I'm going to be stitching 1 inch from the waist area and terminate at the notched area, okay, with 1/2 inch. So this is how it is done. And then now that I'm done stitching the first part of one side of the pocket to the short itself, you can see how it looks like. You can see how it looks like. The same thing to this other side. The next thing, I'm going to be turning it to the wrong side of the short this way. I take it in and iron it out. So this is how you go about your pocket fixing. You take it in, iron it out, do the same thing to the second part of the pocket, take it in, iron it out just like this. And guys, the next thing, after you iron, you top stitch on the edge of the pocket. Okay, so this is it after top stitching at the edge of the pocket, just to make sure the pocket is firm and laid well. So you stitch along the pocket area just like this, and next you open up, turn over to the wrong side, take the second part of the pocket at the second side of the pocket, place it over the initial stitch down one, and then you stitch it down just like this. So you stitch along this part for the both pockets. And at this point, we've stitched down the pocket, and the front part of the short is ready. At this point it is ready. I must say that I just hold down the pocket with the help of my office pin just like this, and the front part is just ready to be stitched together with the back part. And here is the back part. Just like we did to the front, we place the right side over the right side, and then we stitch along the crotch area just like this. Okay, we stitch down along the crotch area. So this is the crotch area after I've stitched it down and weaved it just as you can see, and then I open it up just like this, and I turn over to the crotch area, and then I get the front part and then place it over the back part just like this, making sure that the center of the crotch are facing each other. They are placed over each other directly, and then I stitch a long part with 1/2 inch just like this. Okay, So here it is after I've stitched it down. This is the crotch area being stitched down. The next thing, I open it up this way, and then I place the waist side over each other this way and stitch down, and then I do the same thing to the other side and also stitch it down. And I'll be back shortly. And guys, now that I'm done stitching the sides, leaving this opening for the zipper allowance. So this is where the zipper is going to be fixed in. You can see I stitched from the 7 inches down, and then I left this opening for the zip allowance, that's for the zip accommodation. So next I'll be fixing the band. So I fixed the band all the way around the waist area, and now I have the band fixed. This is what the band fixing looks like. You can see how neat it is looking, well stitched and all that. And this is the elastic part. This is the center back of the center part of the back, and this is what the elastic part looks like. You can see that this is just to give accommodation for the waist in case the waist is a bit bigger or smaller. This elastic just helps to give it the proper fitting at the waist area. And this next I'll be fixing the zip, and then I do the hemming. And guys, our short is ready. So let me move to the stitching machine and get that done quickly. And guys, at this point our romper short is done and dusted, 100% ready for wear. Guys, this is very beautiful, I must say. This is really beautiful. This is the zip area. I can see how neat the zipper is looking. This is it. I open up the zip. You can see this is it. I used an invisible zipper. This is looking very neat, I must say, guys. So guys, let's go fit it and see what it looks like. And here comes the beautiful pleated romper short. Guys, this looks very beautiful and comfortable. Like, it is the comfort of this romper short for me. Very comfortable for any occasion. If you want it to look sophisticated, you just touch it up and guys, you are good to go. And if you want it casual, you know what to do, guys. This looks very comfortable for me. Thank guys for watching. God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.